Harley Quinn, by far my favorite waifu in all of DC outside of Raven and Starfire when I was a child, honestly, and Blackfire too back then. But when it comes down to things, and Jinx, let's throw her in too. But when it comes down to things, of all the characters that I would say is probably the face of DC, much less the face of female characters when it comes to comics, I would honestly tell you it's Harley, honestly. Yes, you have Wonder Woman there, but honestly Wonder Woman has been the same and honestly hasn't really changed in a weird, wacky ass way, so I kind of don't care. So it is what it is. But when it comes down to things, Harley honestly has been the face for a while now. Obviously, plenty of people know who she is, and she's fairly popular. So popular to the fact that they often take her for granted, DC does, and make plenty of shows that's not necessarily good, or try to use her in different ways that doesn't really hit with a lot of people. And, you know, it's a part of the reason why the comic book industry is pretty much, honestly, on the doorstep of death, honestly. But when it comes down to things, it would never taint my love I have for this one clown chick. Of all the clown characters that exist, of all the clown people that, you know, people really like to jerk off to, this is the one. This is the one and only clown chick I will ever give my time to. And I've always wanted to talk about Harley in a video in some shape and form, but I never really had the chance to, much less I didn't necessarily know how this would kind of go. So we're just going to take a risk for it and just kind of see what this kind of does and where this kind of lands, right? So when it comes down to things, and the only reason why we kind of talk about this character too is because I saw a titty shot of Harley in the damn show. It was censored, which sucked, but I still liked it because, you know, titty jiggling. So kind of had to give her own damn video, and I'm kind of on the Harley high now, so it is what it is. But when it comes down to things, I guess I would like to talk about what I like about the character, and then what I don't like is happening to said character, right? So what I like about Harley, obviously, is the fact that she's crazy. That she also kind of solidified my liking of Yandere at a very young age, which, you know, before Yuno came into the picture, I guess that's where it always has been. And really Blackfire too, because Blackfire also has solidified that as well for evil women. But when it comes down to things, you know, I really liked, obviously, the past self of Harley. And don't get me wrong, there's parts of the newer version of her that I like too. Like, both designs hit. I really like both designs, whether she's the jester or whether she's that rebel clown on some nonsense. You know, I like both designs. Both designs are sexy and hot as well. The thing is, though, I feel like nowadays Harley is just kind of missing what Harley used to be. Like, yeah, she's still crazy. She still, you know, is herself, and, you know, she does do a lot of things that is super Harley-ish. But now it's kind of just like, well, now she's kind of like an independent woman and things like that, and really hone in on that feminism side and really go for the LGBT part of things and all that type of stuff. And I just really could not care less for any of it. And then even with the Harley Quinn show, it's really damn bad. It's on equal footing with Velma at this point, if I'm being honest. I never even watched a single episode. However, I know that damn writing. I know how it is. And this is just a problem that kind of plagues all types of adult animation in the West. Everything has to follow meta, or they have to do something with it. And what I mean by that is they have to reference certain things about reality of our world and things like that, whether it's memes, whether it's, you know, things that's, you know, a problem in a lot of people's society, and do it every single episode, right? Do it every single time. Make a joke about something, or, you know, let's make fun of Bane's voice because, oh, that was funny on the internet, and things of that sort, and call out how ridiculous this world is and things like that. You know what's bad about, you know, this is that they do it every single time. You know what's fine about Oshinoko when they did that in episode 6 and talk about the meta of our world is that they made it a serious point, that they took it seriously, that it was a serious thing, which is why I still don't understand why the hell Connor had that whack-ass take that he had, because that was just absolute dog shit. But when it comes down to things, at the end of all things, if you told me which one meta was better, I would take Oshinoko, mainly because, you know, it was a serious subject matter, and it was a, you know, a thing that kind of just, you know, really happens, you know, majorly once, you know, and it really doesn't try to go to appeal to said meta and some weird shit, right? But unlike Harley, it just completely just talk about a lot of shit that happens in our world, or is memes in our world and things like that. And they just basically making Harley try to be profitable and appealing to women and, you know, all that type of stuff. At this point, Harley is no different from Ruby. She is literally just a marketing tool for corporations to basically get their money up, to sell merch, to get people to like Harley in weird ways, and things of that sort. At that point, that's what it is. That was never really the case of what Harley was. If you also don't necessarily know, and fun fact, Harley was never part of the actual comics. She actually got her start in the Batman animated series, which is actually wild, and I did not necessarily know that, which was honestly cool to learn. But when it comes down to things, Harley back then, she was not necessarily the smartest person, even though she literally had a degree. She wasn't necessarily, you know, the most, you know, I guess, not so klutzy person, because she was an absolute klutz at times. And she definitely had a lot of weak points as her character kind of progresses through the original classic timeline. But those weren't bad traits, those were just a part of the character. Sometimes it's okay just to have a character be like that, even if there can't be any growth, because DC never dies, and so Harley having any type of growth in any timeline, in any story, doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because any of those stories can't end. But when it comes down to things, it's just like, you know, back then with those tropes, she didn't necessarily, it wasn't like a bad thing to have that for characters, right? People nowadays are so scared to have a female character to be weakened or to be kind or anything of the sort, because they think that's just bad characters, that's just whack, and that's how they are, and they can't do anything on their own, and it's just not necessarily great. Which, those can build great characters. Plenty of shows done it, plenty of anime has done it, making weak characters get to the point of being strong, not instantly, but in a slow, methodical, well thought out pace. It's fine, that's okay. But Harley doesn't get to have any of that, mainly because, again, DC just never dies. And with that happening, means there's infinite times for Harley just to do whatever the hell she wants in different realities of being good and bad. And it doesn't necessarily affect overall anything. So Harley can be this, you know, crazy person, but just more so as a marketing tool nowadays. And it's super unfortunate, because there was a story where Harley was actually really damn good, and she could do things on her own. Not because she was gay, not because she was a feminist person, not because she was, you know, like the over top version of independent woman or strong-willed woman and stuff like that. It was actually a part of the Injustice 2 game, essentially, where she basically had to get rid of the Joker part of her and essentially try to do things in a better light and stuff. And honestly, it wasn't the fact that she was a woman, or it wasn't the fact that she had to be independent and stuff like that, and, you know, the really woke stuff that kind of happens nowadays. No, she did it because she knew that if she went down that path, a lot of things will be going wrong, and definitely she'll just repeat the cycle over and over again. And with a kid that she has now in that timeline, you know, it was like, well, you don't want her to go through some nonsense either, right? So at the end of all things, she didn't defeat the Joker inside her because she was a woman. She didn't beat it because of the power of gayness. She didn't beat it because of the power of just independentness. She did it because that's what she needed to do. It was a part of, you know, the character that honestly is believable for that variation of Harley as well. Really, I could even say the classic version is believable to do that too. Injustice 2 is, funny enough, like the only game I could say they understood the assignment of what Harley really was. She wasn't necessarily someone that's a misunderstood character. I would say she just needed like something in her life, whether it's the lack of love or whether it's the lack of a thrill or something like that. She is missing something as a person, and she's trying to fill that hole. Why she's been with the Joker, that's part of the reason why, but she's always been missing something. And that was the beauty of her character. Hell, even in the classic days, it always felt like that too. But now they try to do it so much, or at least ignored. Well, I won't say ignore that part of her, but they try to just smother it with other shit that just doesn't matter. And now that's what we got today, and it really just sucks. Also, can I just say, from an artistic standpoint, I like both designs, whether it's the Rebel Clown and it's the classic design of Harley. But also, I really like the Injustice 2 model of Harley. She looks really damn good. Like, honestly, this is like the perfect version of her that looks realistic. And honestly, why the hell do we not use this model anymore? Or this art style? Because this art style is damn near good. And just had the best looking characters when it comes to, you know, 3D and realisticness. It honestly was slapping, I won't lie to you. And I'm not just saying that because I was a Harley main or a Joker main. I'm not saying that, but you know, it just, she was really damn good. And I can see why so much people make so much Gentai content with that damn model. It does look pretty damn good. The whole thing with Harley, in my personal opinion, is just the fact that she wasn't always this good guy character as DC try to paint people with now. She wasn't good, she wasn't all the way bad, but she just was not necessarily having something for herself. And that's essentially the path of what Harley really is. She is literally the path, the character. Literally don't know what she wants to do outside of be herself, be wacky and crazy, and you know, try to find that something that she is missing. I think of all things, that is what Harley character really is. I really think Harley's whole thing is just a path of self-discovery, and while DC try to do it a lot of the damn time, and really a lot of people try to do it too, and it never really turns out great, essentially it feels like there should be a path for her, what she should find, but it should be more of a self-reflection type of path though, right? And that would honestly make Harley an even greater character. But will we ever get that? No, because money is to be made and everything. So that's essentially what I have for you when it comes to this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way else. Also follow me on the Twitters. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, Patreon is available as well. Also buy you a t-shirt. It's on the channel on the right. Go get it. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.